Hi everyone, we're going to be talking about some statistics today and going through different types of graphs and ways of representing data. So you guys have all done like circle graphs and bar graphs. Well, these are a little bit different. You might have seen them before. So let's get started and see. So the first one I'm going to go over is a dot plot. And it sounds exactly like what it is, just dots over a number line. So let's look at this set of data. Let's say these are the ages of kids that were at a birthday party, and we're to make a dot plot with this information. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the lowest value and the highest. So it looks like the lowest is 3, highest is 10. So I'm going to, let's see, I'll just start right here. Yeah. So that's my number line, and I'm going to just number them all the way to 10 because my lowest was 3, highest was 10, so kind of have them around the same space. Looks like I have a lot of extra, but that's okay. I could put 11 and 12. I could even go this way and put a 2. It's kind of like a number line. And now I'm going to just mark how many I had for each one. So my first number is 8, so I'm going to put 1 point here for 8. I'm going to use my lines as a guide so that they're not all over the place. So I have a 5, 7, 5, 9. I hope you see what I'm doing. So I look at the number and then I put a point above that to put that dot. So 6, 6, 8, 4, 5, 10, 10, 7, and 3. And that would be my dot plot. And we could see from here that the most dots we have are at the 5. The lowest is 3, highest is 10. So there's different things you can get out of this. So that's a basic dot plot. And down here we're looking at ages at birthday party. So I'm going to label this dot plot so you have it in case you're writing notes. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is a histogram and frequency table. So let's talk about the frequency table first. So frequency means how often something happens. Like, I frequently go to work in tennis shoes, meaning that happens a lot. So for the frequency table, we kind of break this up in intervals or groups, like how people say like 1 to 10, 11 to 20, like that. Those would be intervals. We're dealing with small numbers, so our intervals were going to be small. But you could count by 10s, by 5s, by 2s. It really just depends on how spread out your numbers are. So ours are kind of together and small, so we're going to pick small intervals. And over here we would put the frequency. So how often it happens. So my intervals, let's see, we count by 3s. So 3 numbers would be 3, 4, 5. Not 3 to 6, but we're just looking at 3 numbers. So my lowest was 3, so I'm going to count by 3 to 5. After that, I would have 6, 7, 8, so 6 to 8. Then I would have 9, 10, 11. Even though I don't have any numbers on 11, that's still my interval. Okay, so let's see how many we have for 3 to 5. So I'm going to look at my numbers up here. I have a 5, so that's 1, 2, 4 is in there, so it's 3, 4, and 5. So there's 5 numbers there. You can make tally marks and then count. I mean, that's fine too. We could do that. Let's see. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just making sure. So there's 5, a frequency of 5 in my age range of 3 to 5. So 6 to 8, let's see. 1, 2, there's another 2. Actually, there's 3 right there. And we have a 7. So that's 6 of them. 9 to 11. I have a 9 and then 2 10s. It's 3 of them. So that's my frequency table. For my histogram, you actually make histograms based on your frequency table. And a histogram kind of looks like a bar graph, except we are looking at the frequency of how much things happen or occur. And the difference between bar graphs and histograms is also that there's no spaces between the bars. So I'll show you what that looks like. So it looks like our highest is 6. I want to make sure I have 6 spaces here. I'll put 7. So this kind of looks like a bar graph, like I said. Down here we're looking at ages of, I should say at, ages at, birthday, party, and that's going to be where our intervals go. So my first interval would be 3 to 5. My second interval, 6 to 8. And my last interval is 9 to 11. It looks like we only have 3 intervals. You could have many more. In fact, you usually will. Over here, we are graphing the frequency. Let me write that sideways. And I'm counting this by 1, 2, just single numbers. Let me get a different color. Okay. So my frequency table shows that 3 to 5, there's 5 frequencies there. So I'm going to make a bar. Try to make it as straight as I can. But that would be the bar for the interval 3 to 5. 6 to 8, that's 6. Remember I said no spaces. Okay, so that's that one. 9 to 11, it's 3. So that would be my histogram. And you can see where most of your frequencies occurred, which would be 6 to 8. So there's different things, there's different ways of looking at it. You could look at how spread out your data is and so on. But that's a basic histogram, and you need a frequency table to make a histogram. And the last thing we're going to talk about is a box and whisker plot. So for this, you kind of need to know all the mean, median, mode stuff that we guys talked about in the last video. that kind of helps with this. So I'm going to renumber, I'm going to put my data here, my numbers, and I'm going to put them in order from least to greatest, because that helps for this. So I have a 3, 4, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so those are my numbers. And the first thing you need to do is find your median. If you remember, median means middle. So that's why it helps to put them in order. Actually, there's a few things we're looking for. We're looking for a median. We're looking for minimum, maximum, and then there's something called Q1 and Q3, and I'll talk about what that is right now. But median is the middle, so let's see where the middle is. So let's see, there's 3 numbers, 2 more. Looks like the middle is between 6 and 7. And if you remember back in the video, you have to find the median between 6 and 7. So median here, we add them and we divide by 2. So you find the average of these two. So that would be 6 plus 7 is 13, divided by 2 is 6.5. Minimum, what's the lowest? That would be right here, 3. Maximum, highest, is the 10. And then we're looking for Q1 and Q3. Basically, what we did when we found the median is we found the middle, which means these are my lowest, those are my higher ones. So now we're going to find the median of this section. So Q1 here, the middle, let's see. If I go from both sides, my middle would be 5. So that's your Q1 right there. Remember, that's the median in first half. Same thing with Q3. We look for the median here. So the middle here is the 8. So that's Q3, that's the middle in the second half. And now we're ready to plot. So we have all our numbers. These are the 5 things you need to draw it. And the way you draw it is you have a number line, kind of like our dot plot. So let's see, we can put 3. Actually, let's go all the way to 10. Okay, so I'm going to put dots on these numbers. So let's start with median. So 6.5, that's the middle of 6 and 7. So I'm going to put it up here. Minimum is 3. I'm going to put that here. Maximum is 10. Q1 is 5. Q3 is 8. Okay, so this is called the box and whisker plot, which means there's a box and there's whiskers. Kind of like a cat has whiskers. So your box is in the middle. So what we do is we just extend those dots and make them into lines, so it's a box. And then on the sides, we add the whiskers. So when you read one of these or when you look at it, it tells us the middle. It tells us how spread out it is. It tells us if the box is to this side, that we have more points over there, or if it's over here, we have more points here. This looks pretty spread out because it's in the middle, and it doesn't look like it's moved very much. So that's a pretty like a nice spread of the data where it's even everywhere. So let me know if you have any questions and I can explain. Don't forget I have office hours as well.